This is how I got an internship at The Tonight Show with Jay Leno my senior year in college without knowing anyone. I was at Indiana University on a payphone in the student union talking to my brother in California. I was going to visit him over winter break. And he's like, "Hey, Har, why don't you get an internship while you're in California?" And I was like, okay, that could be interesting. And I was really nervous because I was dating someone, and when I had dated someone in the past and left town, things didn't work out so well. So I was already a little uneasy. Then he dropped the bombshell. He's like, "Why don't you try and get an internship at The Tonight Show?" And instantly I was like, no, that's a ridiculous idea. And basically I was scared I was going to get rejected. I was too afraid of failing. And I said, I have to go. I have to leave this call. And I left the call very quickly. I walked around the student union. I was kind of like pacing around, and I'm like thinking, if someone's got to do this, right? He's always said that. My brother's like, someone's got to do these jobs. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll just get the information. So I actually called information. I called 411. That's how you got information. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, really dating myself. And they answered, and I said, "Can I please get the number for NBC Studios in Burbank, California?" And they gave me the number for NBC Studios because that's where they shot The Tonight Show. I called. They answered NBC Studios. "Hi, can I speak to someone in the Tonight Show offices?" "One moment, please." They connected me to The Tonight Show. Tonight Show. "Hi, I'm a college student interested in a summer internship. Can you please connect me with whoever handles internships?" "One moment, please." Person answers, "Regina Ackerman, Tonight Show." And now I'm like in the offices talking to the person in charge. This is wild. I said, "Hi, my name is Harlan Cohen, and I'm a student at Indiana University, and I'm interested in a summer internship." She said, "Well, we do our summer internship interviews in March." And I said, "Is there any way you could do it early, because I'm going to be visiting in December?" And she said, "We don't do our interviews for summer in December." I said, "Is there any way you can make an exception?" And she said, "It's going to be a very busy time because it's right before hiatus, but you can call me when you're in town." So I get in town and I call her. "Hi, Regina, this is Harlan Cohen. We talked earlier about a summer internship." "Oh, hi, Harlan. This week is busier than I thought. Why don't you call me in a few days?" Call in a few days. "Hi, Regina, it's Harlan Cohen calling about the internship." She said, "When are you leaving?" And I said, whatever, Wednesday. She's like, "Why don't you call me on Monday and we'll see if we can do something. It's not looking good though." So I call her Monday, and she says, "Okay, I have a half hour. Why don't you come in tomorrow? I'll leave your name at the gate." So I get to the gate the next day, NBC Studios, give my name, the gate opens, and I have the run of the place because I got there pretty early. I saw the cast of Saved by the Bell, Mr. Belding, Say They're Eating. This was when Fresh Prince was shooting, and I was after my interview. I walked around the set. It was the coolest thing. So I get to the studio. She calls me up. We have this amazing conversation, great conversation. And she offers me the internship the next week. I couldn't believe it. And that summer changed my life because it was at that internship that I met a writer who wrote an advice column. And it was that writer's idea that helped me to then go back to Indiana University and start my Help Me Harlan advice column, which really changed the trajectory of my whole career and my whole life. And I got that internship without knowing anyone. And I took a risk, and it was scary. And since then, I have not stopped. You don't need to wait for someone to invite you to apply. If there are jobs and opportunities that you find interesting, reach out to the people in those places. Be curious. Be wildly curious. Remember that. Be wildly curious and get information, because you never know. There are no limits. If you set them really high, you'll be like, wow, I can't believe this. I think I can reach even higher.